What does it mean to have a lack of politics when you are looking after children? So I've been a teacher for a long time. I do a bit of supply teaching now because I got a bit sick of. Oh, it's actually quite relevant. I got a bit sick of the politics of teaching and all the stuff around the classroom. So I got sick of it, and so I just one of the big reasons why I just gave it up. And the question, the little thing that I learnt today is someone came in and sort of started playing politics with me before my class even started, before I'd even met the class that I would be taking for the day. And usually I don't get involved, but this teacher came, because I was early, this teacher came into the classroom, so into my physical space, which I had already sort of claimed. And she came in and she started just giving me a little bit of attitude, like that I didn't have any work for the kids. And I was like, I haven't been given any work. And I just let it slide. And then she like doubled down on it. And I was like, I stood up for myself, which is something in most contexts in a school, I just be like, oh, you're saying things, cool. I'll go back to my classroom where I'm the boss and things make sense, and you just do your politics over here. Not a good recipe, not a good guide for how to approach teaching. But anyway, she was in my space that I'd claimed. She started giving me stuff, and I stood up to her and, like, in my very quiet but direct way, I just went back at her a little bit. And suffice to say, she was like, "Ooh," and anyway, that happened, and yeah, the realization I had today is, like, number one, that is something you should do. You need to get involved in the politics around the class. But I would say that as a teacher, if I was to continue teaching, I would become, and I'm a Leo, if that makes sense to anyone. So I'm a Leo, so like a lion. So you would say that a lion is, this is a bit of a tangent, but it's not really. So you would say that a lion is very territorial and they're very into politics. So so on the outside of the pride, there's a lot of politics. Basically, lions are pretty strong and they can boss everyone around. Inside the pride, there's a lot of politics. However, well, let's go on the first tangent. If I was to continue in teaching, I would get better at protecting my pride, my little patch of the woods where my students are. I would get better at protecting them from outside influences. But I'm not going to get back into teaching, but it's just something I learned today. I would get better at that, and I would seek out the fights. I'd go seek them out and say, oh, you've done this to my class, your little politics thing, yeah, so you're going to have to fix that. So I'm not going back to my classroom until it's fixed, so let's go down that route. So if I was getting back into teaching, that's what I would do. However, within the class, I've noticed something that I do and might be of value to you. I make it so there is no politics. It's a balance. So, like, I have noticed, and it worked today, and it's worked for me for a long time, is if, I am the Leo, I'm the lion of the class, I'm the teacher, and I create the weather, that sort of a thing. But I don't roar in a classroom. I'm quite a quiet teacher. But anyway, in my classrooms, the things make sense. There's a hierarchy. I'm generally at the top of it, and things make sense. But within a classroom and a family, I work so hard for people to understand that I'm the boss within my space and I'm to be respected, and I work on a whole range of things to the point where politics doesn't matter. So in my classrooms, there's an underlying understanding that we are all equal and that politics doesn't matter. So, but it is a balance, because if politics doesn't matter and you don't care about your classroom and your pride or your family, then things will go bad. But I will boil it down to what I think a good leader can do. They can say politics doesn't matter, and a comfortable lion, the head of it, not a lioness, a comfortable lion, will be able to lay down on the ground, and cubs will be able to jump on the lion. This doesn't always happen, they might eat you as well, but they will be able to be vulnerable, and politics will not matter for certain moments, and in certain contexts, politics will not matter. And the cubs will be able to jump on top of the lion, You might get an odd political look from the Lionesses, but in general, there are moments when politics doesn't matter. But that can only happen if hard work is done in the first place. So if the Lion hasn't kicked some ass and been being very lion-like, those moments won't happen. So I've said quite a bit there, but bringing it back to the family, I have my own family. I would think, I can lay on the ground physically and the girls will play and it'd be cool and fun. But I feel I create an environment where at times politics doesn't matter. And for me, I know it's just been a really interesting day because it was like very black and white. I was like, inside my classroom, there's no politics, or it's a real duality. Like inside my classroom, there's heaps of politics and everything makes sense. Outside of my classroom, there's no politics because I'm not getting involved in it. But today I've just had this realization that there's like a non-dual approach to this. So both within and without the classroom, both inside and outside the classroom, there is politics. And there isn't politics. So they're inside the classroom, in the family, whatever, there will be times when you've done the work and politics disappears and everyone is equal and there are these beautiful moments. And there are times when politics does happen and you are the boss and you say, why are we doing that? It's because I said. And then they ask you again and you say, because I'm doing it. I'm in the process of doing it. You better keep, and you play politics. Why are we doing it? Because everyone else is and you're the only one that's not. You play politics inside the classroom. You do that for long enough and hard enough, there will be beautiful moments where you don't have to be political and things are just democratic and flowing. And the realization for me today is that I should extend that wisdom and that sort of thinking to times and contexts outside of the family. So when someone comes to not attack, but someone comes in to mess with my shit, I'll be like, oh, hang on. No, that's not going to happen. And I would seek out times where I can play politics outside of my pride. And that's a big realization for me today. I think that the moment that I learnt it was when someone came into my space. I probably never would have learnt it going outside the space and seeking it. Someone came into my space and tried to mess with stuff that I hadn't even worked on. And I had a realization. It was really cool. But yeah, both inside the classroom and outside the classroom, there is politics. Get used to it, Alan. That's about all I've got to say. And I guess this is a very, obviously very teacher orientated. The takeaway for parents is it's very similar. There's inside your family, there's politics, sometimes it's political, sometimes it's not. You work at it. Outside your family, there is things, politics and non-politics outside your family. And the times you should protect your family. We're coming up to Christmas. That's a beautiful time for all this outside of your family bullshit to happen. So it's like, I thought I was bringing potato salad. Well, usually the old Alan would be like, I don't care. I'll just come along and be grumpy. I'd play politics. But the new Alan is like, hang on. I said I was making potato salad. I know I haven't got potato salad. I know I'm disorganized. But I said I would. I'm going to make, please do not. Please do not. If you make it, I will also make it. Please do not. Or something like that. Like my family probably wouldn't fight about that, but I think the situations where that sort of stuff can just kick off, and anyway, 10 minutes. That's my aim. Make sure you subscribe to Learn a Dad. Let's talk more about kid stuff like parenting and home stuff as well. But I just had to put that lion lesson out there today. Make sure you subscribe to Learn a Dad on YouTube. I do have a Facebook thing as well, but I don't really... My life's been busy. I haven't done much of this stuff at all, but I'm going to endeavour to pop down these lion lessons when I learn them. Cheers. Signing out. 10 minutes right now.